country at the young age of 2, and had her thirst for knowledge was so obvious. She started to collect degrees. She started with a degree from MIT and then became a Rhodes Scholar, went to Harvard, went to Oxford and came back with a PhD in genetics. Then here she became the 3rd woman to ever graduate summa cum laude from Harvard Medical School. I'm not done. I've got more. She was named by CNN one of 8 geniuses who's going to change our lives. Dr. Pardis Sabeti. Pardis, students, it's been such a pleasure to get to know you over these past few months. I wanted everyone else to get to know what a superstar we have and just who you are inside. But before we get to that, why don't you start by telling us the amazing work you're doing right now?
Okay, so I cannot see a thing out there, but I see a sea of people, so I'm sort of gazing blindly. Can I just start by saying thank you so much for having me here. I'm very excited to be here today. So this is a very special day, especially as everyone said on Mother's Day. It's just exciting. My mom is also here, somewhere in the audience out there. So fantastic to be here. I work at, I have an MD and I do research, and my work is around medical genetics. I've always been really into mathematics. And interested in medicine, as all good Iranians. Their parents want them to be a doctor, lawyer, engineer, so I guess. I work on basically using mathematical equations to scan the human genome and look for genes that protect us from different diseases. And I work on malaria and another disease called Lassa fever. But it's an amazing thing. You can use mathematics and you can mine this data, and using very simple algorithms, it points you to what are the important changes that have protected the human species for many years and kept us alive and thriving. And we can use that towards understanding disease and protecting ourselves from it.
Yeah, but one thing people don't understand is, in order to study this disease, you go to Africa. You're not immune to this disease. You go to Africa and you research people who have this disease. Aren't you scared?
I don't know. Yeah, so one of the diseases I work on in particular is Lassa virus, which is, I think, one of the most exciting and interesting viruses out there. I doubt many people have heard about it. So if you say Ebola, people start, running for the decks. But Lassa is not heard of, but it's like Ebola. It's basically a deadly Category A agent that you have to work on in a BL4 facility with spacesuits. And it's like smallpox and bubonic plague. But what's amazing is that through evolution, I think that many in West Africa are immune to it. We're not. And so we go and we work on this virus, and we think that we know the clues as to how people can protect themselves from it. And my mom just comes with me, and so she was panicked that I was going to Nigeria to go work on this virus, and we set up a whole lab there to research the disease. And we have, so while a lot of people are immune, actually about 50,000 people die a year from it. In 2 weeks, it's very quick, but and it's amazing because here in the States, you work in a BL4 facility with the spacesuits in there. It's benchtop, and we call it BL3, but it's, it's different there, and obviously in Africa, everything's a little different though. So actually, now that I've just made it sound as scary as possible,
When were you in Africa last?
I'm out of the zone, but. No, I don't know. It's exciting. And the funny thing is, it's very exciting. And the fact of the matter is, whether we stay at home in our apartments or or go out there, these viruses exist. So the more information we can gather, the better. And so I'm very excited because I do think that there are good treatments for it. And I think if we can understand it, it's better to go out and learn about it before we wait for it to come to us.
Well, we certainly thank you for taking that on. One of the things that really impressed me about you, Pardis, you were one of the first profiles I did for Paya, profiles of Iranian Americans. And immediately when I told you what Paya was, and you heard about it, you joined. This is somebody who's left Iran at the age of 2. What connects you to this Iranian identity?
Well, so absolutely I joined, and this connects me, everybody here who I can't see, but I can feel the energy in this room. And I don't actually think it's that unusual. That's the amazing thing is Iranian Americans have come here, and we love, I think we actually embrace American culture a lot too. We really get into it, and I know here in Los Angeles we're so much part of the culture. But at the same time, I think everybody has, the Iranian mom and dad, and we have all such similar culture that whenever I'm around Iranians, I feel so much at home. So it was an easy thing, and I feel as if everybody in this audience has that same feeling of tenderness towards fellow Iranians, as there's so much that we share in such a beautiful culture. So for me, I'm very, very proud to be Iranian, and like I said, I'm very honored to be here.
We're so proud you're Iranian, so I'll tell you that. Now, a lot of people here don't know exactly how talented you are. She doesn't just write algorithms, folks. She plays the guitar, and she plays it beautifully, and she also writes her own music. Tell me, how did you figure out that you can do that too? Because it didn't come early in life for you.
No, yeah, so definitely when my sort of parents laid out the options for me, it wasn't sort of, music was not a top one. Like I said, lawyer, doctor, and somewhere maybe 50th down the line it was music. But my dad and my whole family loves music, and always, be singing around the house and things like that. So I think it was always around me. And I became very into American alternative rock at a young age, in 7th grade. And so I was always a spectator of music. And it's interesting because you should do what you love, because you do it better. Apparently, even if you don't even learn it, you're sort of doing it all the time, which is that I was always listening to music in all the aspects and thinking about it a lot. So I didn't actually ever think to play myself until I was getting my PhD, so into graduate school. But as soon as I picked it up, I just started writing. And I don't actually play that well, but I write a lot. And it's just something that's very fun for me, very natural. And it gets me through all of my good times and bad times. It's almost as if as soon as I picked it up, I realized that was a language that I had always wanted to speak.
And tonight you're going to play a couple of songs for us, hopefully.